it's Debbie with Kip's Corner. Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome, and thank you for joining me, and welcome to my mess. I am in the middle of building a journal cover. I gotta tell you, so I started a new journal. It's right here. This is Woven Textures. I don't know the name of it yet. I got some rust on the fabric there, but this is a sweater, cable knit fabric. And here's the little top. And on the inside, I'm going to be using two different kits from TaylorMadeJournals from Lorna Taylor. And when I tell you the kits I'm using, you're going to think, okay, this is a weird kind of combination, and it sort of is, but I have an idea of how to pull them together. And so I've got my signatures, and so the first page of every signature is a print from Lorna's Woven Textures kit. And so that's the five. There's going to be 5 signatures. And then on the back side of that, of every page, is her, I'll have to look up. I'll put links to both of the kits below. But it's a grungy. It's one of her new kits. And then the inside signature, or inside spread in each signature is the same, just reversed. So the woven texture is on the inside and the grunge is on the outside. And I did that throughout. So, here's another woven texture. Here's a grunge. And at first glance, you don't think they really go together. But I think they will. I think they don't yet, but they will. So I've got my signatures kind of ready to go, and I'm ready to start working on how to pull them together. And so I've got some ideas on what I'm going to do on the inside. So while I was working on this, I did a squirrel, and I kind of got a brainstorm for another journal at the same time. And this one is going to be birds. And I'm using, I think, 5 different kits from Tracie Fox Creative. I'm using her compendium revamp, her mini birds, one of her grunge kits, also scraps and scrappy. Sorry. I will put all of those links below too. And so it's kind of the same idea where I'm taking different kits and I'm merging them. And what I did with Tracie's kit is I took a lot of the pages, not all of them, but a lot of them that had sort of heavier color on them, and I printed them out as sepias. So you have a lot of, and I don't have extra pages put together in here yet, but you can kind of see, especially here, I think this flower is much, much more orange. And so I've got the 5 signatures here also, and got the center one. So for each one, same idea where, see, this is compendium, this is scraps, I don't remember. This might be compendium, but I think this was originally sort of a bluish green color. So when I changed them to sepia, that took them down to, I've had this fabric for a while. Let me get it out of the way. It's just a gorgeous fabric, and it's in browns. There's a little bit of color in here. And the idea on this one is that as I add color, it'll be by way of birds. And so this is from her mini bird tags kit, and you can see these have a little bit of color in them. And so some of the ones I'll be using here. And then I've also got some from, so this is also some from her mini bird tags. And then this is from Scrap and Scraps. That's it. Scrap and Scraps assemblage. And so there's 2 birds here. I did not change these to sepia tone. There's a bird. And then I've also got a couple printed out from her winter birds kit. And so there's a few of these that I want to use as well. And so, you know, you take that, it's not Christmassy, but this bird I think is going to look good, and I think that it'll make the colors work. So basically the idea here is that the backgrounds of all the pages are the sepia. The cover is a sepia, very light color, and the birds that will be throughout the journal will be what's in color, if that makes sense. That's the plan. So that's what I'm doing. This is my, essentially I was going to work on one journal and get one journal done. I had decided I was not going to do the whole 3 projects at a time anymore. And that decision went out the door as soon as I started this, and I sidetracked myself. So I'm going to work on 2 journals, and I do actually have a mixed media project that I want to work on. So I'll have 3 projects again. This is an old book cover. It's been ripped at the bottom, and I've put a coat of liquid matte medium on it just to kind of seal it up. I didn't seal down these edges. I left those up a little bit. There's a little bit in there. So you still have that movement and that texture, and that's going to be the base. It's going to go something like this. And I wanted to break this up just a little bit because it was a little much, and so I put this band down here. I may do something else back here on the back cover, but as of right now, this is kind of what this is this is the start. So here's what I have. Since I'm going to do bird themed, I went through my stash and I found, another one of the rusted metal pieces, and this is a hummingbird, so I thought he would be adorable on the front. And then this is a Tim Holtz frame that I just grunged up. I added, paste to it and then just a bunch of color. And then back here, I've went ahead and glued, this is the face of a pocket watch face, and the color is absolutely perfect. So I knew right away that I wanted that right there. Then I have, this is from the Scrap and Scraps kit, and it's just like a little journal card. You can kind of see I didn't cut all the way to the edge on these 3 sides. Then I covered it with very light coating of the Distress Crackle paint. Let that dry, and then I wrinkled it up. And then I went in and very lightly just added just a tiny, tiny bit of ink to the top of it. Not a lot. And so this is going to go back here. Something like that. There we go. So that ought to pop nicely, and I think the colors work really, really well. That's where I squirreled, is when I started kind of thinking about that. Then from there, I just have a few pieces set aside here that I might play with. I've got some more, not very far from me, but just some little elements, and I'll create an assemblage on the cover. So that's where I am. So I thought I would turn the video on and start playing with assembling all of this. And so I'm going to just start with this piece because I know that's not coming out. I know that that's what I want to put behind this frame. And I don't want anything else in front of it other than this pocket watch. So I can go ahead and glue this. So I will, there we go. I will do that first. What I'm going to do is build on top of this cover, and then I'll attach the cover. And I do that in case I want anything to tuck underneath or any brads to go all the way through or anything like that. So I think I want this kind of off to the, what is that, left? Off to the left a little. And from there, I'm not sure. Actually, I love the idea of this piece being on here. So maybe that piece is there. And I absolutely could go ahead and put that down too. So let's do that. Now for a piece like this, where this is this metal, I'm going to use Ultra Matte Gel Medium. This is a thick-bodied medium, and it dries beautifully. And I just can pop it on. what I usually do is put it on, let it squish, squish it down, and then clean up the space after. And I want to get it pretty edge to edge, pretty much. Okay. This is the messy part, but it's the fun part. Okay, let's see. Hang on. I don't want to get glue all over everything. I think I want it about right. No, let's come down a little. About right there. Yeah. Now let's go up a little bit more, because I think I'm going to want it about right there. Yeah. Okay, that's good. So we're going to squish that down. I'm probably going to have to clamp this because it's got a little tiny bit of a curve to it. So it's not going to want to stay down. And so basically what I do is just take my silicone brush and just wipe up the excess. And I usually do this more than once. A little bit of that matte gel medium on the front of this is not going to hurt anything, because remember, I've already got a coat of liquid matte medium on it. It's not going to alter the color or anything like that. So I'm going to wipe up the excess that gooshed out. And then I'll let that sit and dry. Sometimes it takes, a couple days for me to create one of these because I'm letting things dry. Oftentimes I am letting them dry overnight. It just depends on what I'm gluing down and how easy it is going to get it to stay. So that's going to sit there. Meanwhile, I want to think about what else I want to do here. Now I know, let's see, where'd he go? Where'd my birdie go? Here he is, over here. I know that I want the bird on here. And I've got this little flower. This was a bracelet, and I popped off the little bail piece, and it was a rusted bracelet, and then I covered in glossy accents just to seal that rust in. And I think this little flower would look great right here. So it kind of looks like he's going for the flower, and he's going to get the nectar. So I like that idea. You may have to go over a little bit, kind of like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to get this on there. Let's let that dry. We'll let that dry. While those two pieces dry, I also have over here, this is a little Tim Holtz medallion, whatever they're called, token. This is Be You Bravely. I thought that would be really cute on this. And what I did is I dropped some alcohol ink on it because it's silver and I wanted to get a different tone. But I do want to, I think I'm going to add some, what am I going to add? I think I'm going to add some vintage gold to it in Metallique wax. This is an old one. They don't come in the tubs anymore. But I think that'll, yeah. I think I decided that I want it down here, right there. I like that. So I'm gonna, let's see, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna put that on with I'm gonna put a little jump ring on there, but I'm gonna let the jump ring just hang. So I'm not going to actually use it, but I'm just going to look like it's, hanging out there. So let me get a jump ring. Okay, I got lots to dry, so that's going to dry. We'll let that dry. And then once these pieces dry, then I'll come back and add in the bird. And then from there, I'll start assembling and figuring out what other parts and pieces I want on here and where I want them. I don't have a ton. I'm not going to do overkill on this. I think I'm going to try to keep it fairly simple. But yeah, so I'll be back as soon as some stuff dries. Okay, I'm back and we are dry. So this sat overnight and everything that you see here has been glued down. So just a couple more little things I want to do to the front, and then I can glue the whole panel down, and then the cover will be done. It'll be done as far as it's going to get done until after I complete sewing in the signatures. And that's when I'll go back through and put metal corners on and the knob attachment and etc. etc. So when I was gluing things, I glued the little pin nib here onto this. And I think I would like to put that right there. And I want to wrap this around here. Kind of like that. So I'm going to add that. And I think I can just put this on with art glitter glue. It's kind of a... I mean, it's fabric, but it's like a treated fabric. So it has a... you know, a coating on it. So I'm going to go ahead and go all the way over. Okay. Let's try to get this on here. And I'm going to tuck that right there. I think that's straight. I mean, I think it's as straight as it's going to get. Yeah. A little bit of glue there. Okay. Yeah, I like that. And that sits on there nicely. Okay. Now, one more thing I want to do. I want to glue this on. I want to tuck it up underneath his wing right here. About like that. And I'll push that down right here. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I think I can go down a little bit further. Go down about right there. Okay. Same thing. I'm just going to glue this with art glitter glue. I think I want to call that done. Okay, so, and I've got a guide. So you see this fabric that comes around. I want this ripped piece to cover the tip of that fabric, just barely. And so that's kind of how I'm going to line this up. And then I'm going to scoot it over just a little bit further this way, because when this is closed, you have the thickness of the spine here. So that'll give it the illusion of being centered, even though when I lay this down, it's not exactly centered. That makes sense? Okay. This is definitely matte medium with clips and all the fun stuff. So I've got them all out here. Let me put the lid on my art glitter glue. If I don't, I'll lose it. Okay, so all I need is a palette knife. Let's get a bigger one. This one will work beautifully. I'm just gonna scoop it up and smack it down. Now these old book covers are never straight, but it also doesn't hurt to measure just to see if you're close. That's a little this way. All right, let's try that. All right, time to clamp her down. So I'm going to kind of go down the line. I'm going to hit my 4 corners first. And actually what I need to do I need to get some cardboard up underneath here so that I don't dent my book board while it's sitting. Okay. Okay. That, my friends, is going to sit overnight. Just gonna take a peek. I don't have, ooh, not much cushion. Good job, yay. Whoa, okay. That's gonna sit overnight, or at least for a few hours. And I'll be back when this is dry. We'll take another peek at it, and we'll go from there.